ili zaprati link u opisu videa, to jest u prvom komentaru. A sad se vraćamo na epizodu. Energy and emotion. Let's start with that.
So if you have, well, look, there's many different cultures have got very different ways of dealing with death. Okay? And it depends on the culture to how you deal with it. So some people go and get drunk, some people wear black and weep and wail, and some people shoot rifles in the air and all sorts of stuff. A different emotional reaction to death. Based upon your conditioned reaction, because of your environment, your social conditioning, whatever, you have a particular way of responding to situations. So then what happens, if we go back to this energy thing and all this information, if we just picture for a moment that we swim in a sea of consciousness, which is all information, but we have, because of our conditioned past, certain antennae that are picking up certain frequencies, that we ignore some, we favour others because of conditioning. And so what happens then is, in my understanding, and this is very basic biology, I'm not a biologist by any stretch, but if there's a particular frequency that passes through your environment and it triggers off a memory in your energy field of sadness, for example, then what happens is the neurons in the brain fire off in a very established order, not just random, no thinking beforehand. It just goes boing and you fire off. Neurons are created as a result of that transmission, that frequency that you've passed through. The neurons fed through the hypothalamus create amino acids. Apparently they're the building blocks of life. So the amino acids then cascade through your system and enter the cell, assuming that there's receptor sites on the cell to allow that to happen. But if you identify with sadness, there will be receptor sites on the cell that allow the chemical, tiny little chemical, to enter the cell. We then interpret that physiological change as sadness or anger.
A feeling.
Yes. And it can be an emotion. I mean, it's the same really. It's just how we interpret information and the labels we put on certain experiences.
Yeah. So in my mind, the difference between emotion and feeling was, so the chemical process, as you said, is emotion.